Another thing that happened, Collectormania, yes. When was it? The 28th, 29th of May. We went to Milton Keynes to Collectormania 17 or 16 at the MK Dons Stadium. As last time, it rained and was freezing cold in the stadium. You know, we've had so much lovely weather here in the UK with all the sunshine and whatnot. No, the one day, bank holiday weekend, the weather, as per usual, decides to be rainy. So we were kind of swaddled in coats and everything. Met the Red Dwarf crew, Colin Baker, from Doctor Who. I think he was like the 8th Doctor or something. Oh, sorry, he would have been the 6th. No, it might have been right before. 7th, whatever, around that era. But I mean, he was Doctor Who when I was a kid, just before Sylvester McCoy, so that was kind of a legend for me. Linda Hamilton from the Terminator, Sarah Connor from the Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor from the Terminator 1 and 2, she was amazing to meet. She was horrendous and we didn't think I'd get to see her, but just squeezed in at the last minute. Jeffrey Combs, from, a lot of people might know him from 4400, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, Reanimator. He was actually in one of the first horror movies I ever watched, From Beyond, which I just recently rewatched, and still is pretty, you know, despite its age, is really good, the effects and everything. It's rather frustratingly not available on DVD here in the UK, and that annoys the pants off me. The problem is my DVD is not a region, you know, free region one, so I can't there's no point me buying the American edition. So I'm keeping fingers crossed that eventually that'll come out, but he's been in so many other horror. He's kind of the less crazy Brad Dourif, if you will. He was really lovely. The problem is he wasn't taking, and I think it was more the organisers' fault than him, because there was absolutely nobody, the poor guy, nobody queued up for him. We just walked straight up, and unfortunately we went just as he was heading off to lunch. But he was not doing post photographs and that, but he wasn't doing a photo shoot on the day that we were there, which really upset me. So I didn't get a nice post photo with him, but he was really nice to meet, really lovely guy. Who else? Oh, Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca in the Star Wars movies, which I have to confess, despite my geekdom, I have only just recently seen for the first time. I borrowed the box set off a friend, and only just recently sat down and watched the original trilogy. So it was just as well. You know, I've grown up with all the parodies and everything, but I'd never actually watched the movies. You know, I've seen Spaceballs, I love the Family Guy, Robot Chicken, Fun Wars, you know, all those. I love all those, but I'd never properly seen the actual movies. So he was really nice to meet, but he's huge, and you shake his hand and it's like the whole hand just disappears. But we were joking about how warm the suit was and how much it could have come in handy at that blinking cold stadium. So who else? Quite a few people. Oh, but the main one, I guess, because I can't think of who else off the top of my head. The main person was Patrick Stewart, or sorry, I should say Sir Patrick Stewart. That was really cool. Except, when we got there, I asked just offhandedly if they had any of the photo shoot tickets left, which they did, which was cool. But we got in, and I can't explain this. If I can just shift. He sat there. They've got 2 chairs set up, and he sat in one of these chairs, and he's like got his hands in his lap, and he's kind of sat there like stock still, looking straight ahead. And of course everybody was sitting down next to him and kind of like, look, stock still, hands in lap, staring at the camera. Look, I'm with Patrick Stewart. Well, me, because I'm, you know, I'm wary of the bodyguards that you could see lined up opposite, just behind the cameraman. But I go in, I sit down, and I'm like leaning in like this, you know, so it looks, I'm a bit closer to him, the poor guy, and I'm like, hi, and he's like not moving, like ventriloquist, hello, you know, and I go to get up, I've put my my walking stick on the floor, except I go to get up, and I can't get my fat butt out from between the 2 armrests on this chair, so I take the whole chair with me, and knock Sir Patrick's seat in the process. So I have to sit back down. They're like waiting for me to get the hell out of the way so they can get the next person in. I finally pry the seat off my butt. I turn round. Of course I bend down to pick up my stick and essentially shove my butt in Patrick Stewart's face. I mean, just seriously, and I was like, thank you very much, as I waddled off, and he was like, oh my god, creepy person. But the thing is I'm not a Trekkie, you know, as I've explained before when I did the Star Trek review and everything, I'm a fan of the old series. I kind of watch Next Gen, but I mean, he's Patrick Stewart, and it's just so weird because 3 days later he was like receiving his knighthood. He was like, I've met him. But later on, after the photos had come back, went to get his autograph, and again, I'd got a queuing ticket earlier in the day, but they kind of said, are you coming back tomorrow? I said, no, we come, you know, we've had like a 2-hour drive, so they said, well, you know, you might not make it. Somehow we managed to squeeze in, but, the thing is we got up and it said no personalisations, which I guess is the 1.23 seconds difference between, you know, just signing it and putting a name down. And I thought, I'm not paying 25 quid to get something that I could essentially pick up on eBay. I've already made a fool of myself in front of the poor guy, so you know, it's a lot of money. But and then I thought, oh, I'll get my photo with him signed. So again, you've got all these bodyguards lined up. You're not allowed to take pictures, no videotape. So you go up and he was like, oh, nice picture. I'm like, hello, you're Patrick Stewart. I'm sorry about earlier. But it was a case of you just go in and go back, and I think that's a shame. I mean, we had more time with Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy, you know, last year was a lot more, how do I put this? It sounds wrong. Touchy. You know, he put his arm around you and stuff for the photos. So I don't know how much of that is the organisers, the agent, the star themselves, but I think it's kind of sad when they can't interact in the same way. But it was an amazing day, a very, very long day. I was in absolute agony the following day. So I have to thank from the bottom of my heart Jo, who gave me the lift and went with me, even though she kind of didn't want to go. She kind of gave me the lift, so she took me and kind of put up with me kind of going around going, oh my god, it's so-and-so, it's so-and-so. The only person I regret not seeing was Lance Legault out of the A-Team, but I just didn't have the money, and actually he was kind of creepy because he was sat there in his uniform and was very boisterous, and I was kind of like, oh my god. But no, it was an amazing, exhaustive day, and the thing is also while we were there, they had this amazing American kind of candy store where they had all these candies that you can only get in America, you know, your Hershey's, your Dots, your Buttercup, you know, all those ones, and they had cans of Mountain Dew, and I've, you know, grown up kind of hearing about Mountain Dew in movies and books and everything. So I kind of bought a can and experienced my first can of Mountain Dew, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't purchase more, but again, money, but if anybody wants to, send me Mountain Dew. It's nice. That was that main thing.